Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever part of the world you're in. Welcome to the Aha Moment. My name is Yogesh Kapoor. I'm a communications coach, and I have with me my lovely partner in crime, my accountability partner, and a very good friend, Grace. So amazing. Welcome, Grace, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm feeling very spooky and very excited today. Hello, beautiful people. Hello. My name is Grace So Amazing, and I'm super excited. I don't know. Okay, let's say I'm excited because next week is my birthday, and I'm excited and I'm happy that I'm getting into my season. I am a physicist and a life coach, and a human being that is very big on evolving. So that's one thing that I always like to touch on. I love evolving and I love to help people in terms of build systems as a life coach. I help people build systems to assist them in a way of achieving their goals, but they will have fun while doing it. That's what I do for my clients as an integrative life coach. And I'm also the founder of a foundation called Friends to Lean On Global Foundation. That foundation is very big on mental health, education, and advocacy. And I love the fact that everything I do, my work, it's centered around wellness. It's centered around personal growth and development. And I'm very happy in the last few um, years, I've been working with Yogesh Kapoor. And what we're doing right now is us putting out what we love to do, conversations, talk about things that can give you that spotlight. Oh, I never thought about it. Yeah, the aha moment. I'm happy to be here. So bear with me. I'm a little bit excited. So just call me to order when I'm, swerving up. I'm excited today. So that's it. Tell me a little bit about yourself other than what you do.
A little bit about myself. Wow, there's so many things to tell. I don't know where to start.
Start
But
from
I
the
guess the one
beginning.
thing is I love speaking. And like you said, I love serving people. I think it's something that comes from within. Um, and there are many times when I am meeting new people, I'm in a conversation with them, or I'm somewhere where I've never met people. They just somehow automatically come up to me with questions. They want to sit. They they want to get some coaching, even though at that point it's just a conversation. But somehow I feel there's a there's something that I leave with them, and I think it gives me joy knowing that I can help people get some clarity. Even though it's meeting them for the first time, you know,
Mm.
and I think that's something that I'm grateful to God, uh, you know, and since it's Thanksgiving, so I would thank God for giving me that gift of being able to have those conversations which leaves an impact on people. I think it's very important. I think not everybody is gifted like that, though everybody can have that sort of talent. It's not like it's inbuilt or something, right? But I think that's something about me. Other than that, I love watching movies. I can go alone on a Saturday night and sit by myself and watch a movie. I can even do a movie marathon. I've done three in a row in a day.
Mm. Really?
Like I just
Oh,
watched a movie. I went for the break. I saw what's the next movie on. Because for me, I don't like waiting for week after week. I'm like, if I can get it done, I get it done with. But don't do what I do. It's not easy watching three different stories in one
no,
day,
like
and then and then
I wait. I practically wait, no matter how interesting it is, when I finish one movie, I'm like, ah, that was exhausting. Like sitting down because I put all my attention to when I'm watching a movie, all my attention to it. And I'm like, okay, and then after that one, I'm done. maybe till another time. But you sat for 3 movies. God damn it, man.
Well, because I get very analytic with movies. You know, it's something since childhood. And I at one point wanted to start a YouTube channel on movies, you know, but I realized that that's not really my thing. Um, I can be analytic about it, but I don't want to like watch every single movie out there, right? It's just a bit too much. I only watch what I feel I need to watch, even if it's like a famous actor and I don't feel the need to watch it, I don't. Unless it has some storytelling, some depth, some meaning. And sometimes I just watch movies because I'm like a Marvel geek. I like superheroes. So I go watch those, you know. Um, but yeah, coming back to our talk for today, aha moment. You know, you mentioned earlier about being diplomatic and sometimes being very honest with people. That conversation we had before we came on live, right? Which takes me to today's topic is, you know, learning from our darkness or dark side or whatever you want to call it. Um, Tell us a little bit about that, Grace, since we
Oh,
were, you sent me this profound video and I was like watching and trying to understand what it meant. But I got some of the gist, not completely, but I got it. So tell us a little bit about what is the darkness?
all right. Thank you for asking. But I think let me share a story why this is even a thing. And I just sat down, and I think recently we've been talking about strengths and weaknesses, and I have been studying successful people. So I think something popped up on Instagram. I was watching something on Instagram, and I think it was Elon Musk or someone that popped up, and they said something around their shadow side. So it's the shadow side, which is often called the dark side. And I'm very scientific in my reasoning, and I'm like, And apart from that, I also understand. I mean, I have a course, where I teach the dual nature of atoms, of human beings, of everything created has a dual nature, and the dual nature is not about one being bad or good. It's something that works together. They work hand in hand together for the growth of that particular thing. So that was what when I read it, I was not like, okay, dark side, the shadow side. And for for context, we can call it the weakness, the part we call weakness, which is, in the real sense of it, it's not a weakness, but because of the lens we are looking at it, we call it a dark side, a shadow side, or weakness. So let me give an instance based on the report I got. So I was on ChatGPT, and when you use ChatGPT often, it sorts of understand what you're about and the things that you do and the things that you're always, it creates like a profile for you, in a way. It might not be 100%, but it will let you know what you're interested in. So I just sent a message that, "Look, tell me my shadow side based on the information you have of me." And the answer I got blew me. It blew me, and I'm like, whoa, this is so scary. Your shadow side, your dark side, if you will, is that side of you that looks like the bad side of you, the side of you that people would say that, this about you is good, but this other side of you is not good. And then when I started studying it, I now realized that that's wrong. It's wrong to say that side of you is not good. That side of you is there for your protection. And I'm going to use the snake as an example. You know how the snake has a venom, and how the venom is seen as the bad. We see the venom as a bad thing, but that venom is the strength of the snake. That venom is what gives the snake the ability to move around, almost fearless, that if anything comes at me, I'm able to strike because I've got this. As a matter of fact, many people are afraid of me because of this particular side of me. Now, when we bring it back to us as humans, we have some of these things that we have for our own good. It is there to protect us. It is there to bring the best out of us. It is there to help us stay fearless. It is there to give us that sense of reasoning. It is there to help us understand certain things that we need to understand to help us thrive. Yogesh, I would have to leave for 5 minutes and I would need you to go ahead, please. There's something that I need to attend to very quickly. Is that okay?
Sure.
Yeah. So,
So, like you were talking about your shadow side, and it's interesting because there's so many things that we think that our is our dark side, is our bad side. Because you have to understand that when the way we operate in life is we consciously, we are somebody, right? Consciously we operate in a certain manner, and depending on what situation we are put in, we have a certain mask which our consciousness allows us to put on, right? We would be different maybe in a different scenario. I'm not saying we're being bad or anything, but we always have all these masks on. But at an extremely deep, deep, deep level, which is our subconscious mind, there are certain parts of us which we call the dark side. So dark side doesn't mean something really horrific, right? It's not like we're murderers or we're like, really bad people or something like that. No, it's just there's certain aspects to our behavior which we ourselves don't know, that might be certain patterns or really suppressed, but they are within us, and they do come out at a certain point. So, simple example, in our subconscious mind there might be a lot of anger, right? But when we are when we are in society and we are speaking to certain people, that anger might never show up. But there comes a point where maybe in our own thoughts, or when we're in a certain point, that anger suddenly comes out. And that is something I have realized about myself within this past year, is I have a lot of anger suddenly come out at certain situations where my subconscious is playing, not my conscious mind. If I was in my conscious mind, I wouldn't be behaving like that. But in my unconscious mind, there's a need for violence.
yeah.
And I've been noticing that. And something that is good is because when you notice that, it helps you tell you that there is a part of you which is there, but it is not being utilized in the right way. Now, don't get me wrong, or don't get it all mixed up. Anger is not necessarily a good or a bad thing. It's how you apply that energy that can become destructive or the opposite.
Right.
Like I heard a very good, very big spiritual speaker. I'm forgetting her name right now. She says, anger actually is good because everything is energy, right? So if we take that and we use that anger to fuel our purpose, it helps us, push us in a direction that is helping us evolve, like you say, Grace. right?
True.
But if we take that anger
In.
and we bring ourselves down with it, or others down with it, or react, then it is not a very positive thing. So instead of using that dark side, I'm talking right only on anger, right? There's so many other issues out there, right? Using that anger with the right momentum will take you to a place which will push you towards your purpose. But if you take it in the wrong way, it will just bring your energy levels down,
True. True. I totally,
right?
yeah, I totally love that you came from that angle of anger, because I think many people struggle in that area. And, and I've come to realize that it is even anger that is the fuel for most of these people that are doing and exploring things, that are doing great things in life. They're so angry with a particular situation. They want to get something done, and they need that amount of energy to fuel that thing. And I'm loving the fact that it is our duty to understand what we think is not a good thing. When I hear people say that, so in recent times, based on the knowledge that I've acquired, I have been able to understand that honestly, it's certain things, the things we call bad things. So I'll give you an example. I am very, consider myself a softie. Like, I have a very, I'm very, it's so hard for me to I can feel guilty very easily if there's something I need to do for someone and I don't do it, or when I don't when somebody says when I say no to something, I'm very guilty. I feel very guilty, or I feel bad that, but because of what the work I've been doing, even as a therapist and working in the field of psychology, I have come to realize that you have to have a stand, in certain things that you do. So for me, it's difficult because my personality is very, I'm like, oh, I wish I could. Because I would now think, I'm like, oh, I wish I could do. Oh, no, no, no. So what am I saying in essence? There's this part of me that is supposed to be, it's a weakness, feeling bad, feeling sad, feeling guilty for not doing certain things. So what can help me? What helps me in that area to be able to counter that is when somebody thinks they're doing something bad to me, it will help me to overcome that thing. So let me give you an example. So because I can be a little soft, I can be very soft that I will just be binging on the guilt. If somebody does something to me, right, and probably the person was mean to me, and I sit down, it's able to help me gather the energy I need to do something rather than feel guilty. Do you get what I mean? Let me give you an instance. Someone was supposed to. There was something else. There was a project I wanted to do, and the tail end, this person just came and told me off that no, I wasn't going to do it. I was on a good day, I would feel bad. I would be, I'm like, wow, this person just came and did this to me at the tail end. But the knowledge I have now has helped me to understand that there's a strength that looks like there's something that looks like a weakness, but it's a strength. So I took that part of what this person did as a strength that look, this person has given you an opportunity to explore other areas and how you can do this. You have this energy and you have this passion. So you can do this thing. So I was able to ginger myself that Grace, you wanted this project, you wanted to do this project with this person to reduce this to reduce certain things. But now you've been able to see that you can even do it. And that opened my eyes to see other areas that I could do. Why am I sharing this? Because sometimes some people will do certain things to you and it will look like it's a bad thing. Unknown to you, it has helped to fine tune some things that you have that could have been a weakness, and it will help strengthen it out. Just like we've talked about anger, in this case, it's being too overly empathetic. That's for me. I can be very emotional. I can be very, oh no, no, I don't want to. No, 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 no. But that strength that I've been able to gather and the knowledge I've been able to gather is helping me to build that, you know, it's not a bad thing to be empathetic. You need to know how to use it very well to your advantage and to the people around you, rather than see it as a weakness. Because most times, you know, maybe if I see something and I'm crying, I'm like, oh God, why? What happened? I'll watch a movie and I'm crying. I'm like, why are you crying for this? You're so soft. Why are you? I'm like, it's not nice, and I'm like, oh, you're mean, so at that point, I'll look at it as a bad thing, like, why am I, it's just a normal thing. But now I know that first, I'm a human being, and it's my job. My job is I'm able to, and that's why I do well in my job. When somebody comes with something, I'm empathetic enough to understand how they feel. Talk about what we talked about. I mean, look, remember what we talked about last week. So this is you exploring the part of you that you think is a weakness. You see how I came from that point to where I am right now. We talked about empathy, being in the place of the other person. What I thought was a weakness, being very emotional towards somebody's problem, is what I use as a tool for the work that I do. Now I've been able to explore more. I've been able to look at it as what people would call a dark side, that Grace can be too emotional, is something that you can evolve, learn, understand how, even though you want to empathize with the person, you don't have to cry with them, you can feel it, you can understand it. So when you speak, you're speaking from your heart. That person will be vulnerable enough to tell you what they're going through, and you can totally understand and help them pull through it. So this is a nugget. Find that thing that people always complain about. You're this, you're that. That lies where you can help people. Yogesh, when I discovered this, it gave me joy. And it is based on fact. When you check every time, it could be loyalty. People could be loyal to a fault, and it at some point it's a problem. What it means is, when you look at it, you can create a field, or you can create a niche for yourself in a place where that thing is significant. So that is exploring the seemingly dark side, the part of you that people would say you are wicked, you are angry, you are this, you are that. When you look at it holistically, you would find how you can explore to help people. It could just be anything, anyhow. I would use Elon Musk again. Elon Musk, what we call his weakness is that he's fearless, or he takes risk. He's able to, some people can just take risks. I'm like, aren't you afraid? People can tell him that you take too much risk. You're this, you like to take risk. And then he sat down and just looked at it, and I'm like, okay, I take risks. I don't, I'm very good at taking risks and everything. What can I do that other people may not be able to do? But my ability to take risks, which sometimes look like a bad thing, can push me to create things for people in this world. There you have it. So that's how I see the dark side. And let me quickly wrap up. The moon at night, when, the sun and the moon, I was going to go there, definitely. The sun and the moon, they have their roles. Most time, people say darkness is bad. But guess what? That is when there is birth. That is when there's transformation. That is when the work is done. The dark side of you is where you need to calm down and check, understand your patterns, understand that side of you that people would call terrible, bad, and understand how you can leverage on it. That's what darkness is about. Plants actually do the work at night. In the morning, you see it glow. That's the essence of what we call the dark side. Over to you, Yogesh. I think I've talked a lot about that. So I have
No,
a
I love
question
the
for you.
example you used of Elon Musk, right? Somewhere in a subconscious mind, um, I don't know, is it about just risks, but somewhere in a subconscious mind, he has a part where he is probably stubborn. He's stubborn.
Maybe
He won't
that's the
listen
word.
to
Maybe
anyone,
that's the word I'm looking for.
you know?
Stubborn. Maybe yes.
Yeah, maybe in a
That's the word.
consciously, he's like, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to create all of that. But in the dark side, he's probably has stubbornness. We know for a fact his relationships haven't worked. He's been divorced twice or thrice, something like that. Um, he will sacrifice, right? He has that thing to sacrifice his relationships, be a loner,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
For that fuels his work, because I think if he was trying to balance himself, right,
Mm,
it's not going to work with
yeah.
what this man has achieved in such a short span of time. I mean, you know, it's incredible.
Mm,
I think nobody in human history has grown that much.
nobody.
Um, and that is really, really powerful. So we all have those dark sides. Like I said, I have anger, right? It's just you have to channel that in the right way. And it's a good thing we call it the dark side. We won't really give it a good or a bad label. It's just the dark side. Like it's there, right? It's energy. And
It's not even
the
dark side.
example
We
you
call
made
it
of,
the shadow side. The shadow side.
yeah,
It
the shadow
follows you
side.
everywhere you go. Yeah.
Yeah, and we always talk about doing shadow work, right? But it's really
Yeah.
interesting you mentioned the moon and the sun, because at the end of the day, you have to have the shadow side, right? In order for the regular side to be operating. You cannot have one without the other. It's a fact. It's a fact. The sun rises, it sets, the moon comes out, it sets. It's like that yin and yang position, right?
Mm, mm,
But it is always good to sit with that. What is your dark side, right?
yeah.
We all have I mean, I just mentioned anger. I have so many other dark sides to myself, or the shadow side to myself, which, and it's something you have to keep working on. It's not that it's going to be like a 1 day thing, right? Or a 1 month thing, or a 1 year thing. It's life.
Mm,
You have to keep working on your shadow side. I mean, ask any of the coaches, right? Shadow work, shadow work, shadow work. They keep, right? Deep down, what is it that sets sets us apart from what we actually are when we are conscious? And it's a wonderful thing. It's a good thing we've got to learn so much about it in today's day and age. I mean, I remember 20, 25, 30 years ago, nobody would even speak about it, right?
mm.
Today we bring it out. Like, I'll think about it. When we were growing up, who did we even speak about all of this? Like, there's so many subjects that were taboo, or
Information. I think the internet has helped in a way. The internet has helped a lot of things that used to be very secretive. Information is out there now. It wasn't like all these things didn't exist, but light has come upon them now, and we are beginning to see it. Most of these things used to be very secretive. Many people didn't talk about it freely because we didn't. I mean, I wouldn't, apart from, without the internet, I would never know that there's a Yogesh somewhere in China, or there is, I'll just know that I know some people live over there. I know some people, even if people travel and everything, so it doesn't mean that those people don't exist. They do exist over there, but we've not had the opportunity to see each other like we're seeing ourselves right now. We've been friends for how many years and we've never seen each other. But I feel like when I see you, I'm like, Hello, your guys. We're just going to keep. It will just flow because we have built that connection. Through this work that we do. So I also believe, because of what you just mentioned, I remember when they shared. I read something, and it felt so ridiculous when I saw that thing. And for me, every time I see something so ridiculous, I can't remember, but I knew it was something very ridiculous. In my eyes, it was ridiculous because I didn't know anything about it. So what I have learned moving forward is I don't just dismiss anything. I would be curious. I'll be like, hmm, okay, tell me more. Hmm, really. I think we at the point when we were growing up, it wasn't our business. We just wanted to eat, go to school, or do something and then move on. And even as we still speak, there are areas that when we discover, we my goodness, there's something like this. But until we are interested in that area, we will never know about it. We would never ever know about it. It boils down to interest. It boils down to personal development, because I mean that's the field we are in. We're in the field of personal development. And as interesting as this conversation is, when you tell some people, they'll be like, please, what are you talking about? Excuse me, no, 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 no. So that's, I think, at the end of the day, that's
I
what it
think I
is.
think you're right. Internet has really given light to a lot of these subjects. But what you just mentioned just now, a lot of people like, "What are you talking about?" and all. I think in simple words, I would just put it is life is all about knowing oneself, right? And the deeper you go, you will realize so many things, and there's always changes. There's always so if you think about the dark side, I think that's shadow work or shadow side, whatever you want to call it, for those who don't really understand it. Just go deep within. Who are you really, right?
Self-awareness.
Yeah, exactly. That is the most important thing I feel. So, and there's so many aspects to ourselves, right? The conscious, the subconscious, traumas, dark side. I mean, we can go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And you always talk about it, and about belief systems, right? What are our belief systems? How do these belief systems get created? We have to start questioning everything. Like, I've been getting angry a couple of times this year, right? And it's coming back again and again. Um, and I've been asking myself, what is it? What is it that is causing me to get so angry, right? Um, I won't mention the what actually happened on the YouTube. I mean, you know the story, right? But it came up again last week, and I was like, there's something down there that has to be redirected. And I was like, okay, you have a lot of work to do. Get in there, dig deep, find out what's going on, and find a way to fuel it or redirect it the right way. So, shadow work is very important. It's very, very important to see your dark side, explore it, understand it, because that leads to your purpose.
Yeah.
So, I think that's all I'm going to put in for today. Is there anything else you want to add to this, Grace?
Absolutely nothing. I'll just say that look, the series, I think this looks like a series, and we've talked about self-awareness, we've talked about empathy, and today we're talking about this dark side, exploring the dark side. So for me, I think it's an opportunity to just keep knowing yourself, and because you're evolving, there are several layers of you that you will be discovering, and that's beautiful. There's some things that I never knew I could do. There were things I never knew I had. You know, I heard some of these things from people. And when I heard it continuously, I had to search, and then I realized that, oh, because it was easy for me. It was easy. It was something that came to me naturally. I didn't think there was anything spectacular about it. So this is me saying that, look, everything about you is spectacular. and you should pay attention to it. We undermine certain things that we have, and we don't even know how powerful those things are. For me, I am taking no chances. When I catch, and I'm saying this categorically for the world to hear, when I catch anything, no matter how tiny that thing is, as long as that thing can help me work in my purpose, I am going to leverage. I will leverage on it. Be it the shadow side, be it whatever, I would leverage on it and get on board to the next level. And it was someone that said, I wrote it somewhere, and I'm going to wrap up with that. He said that the goal is not to be nice, but to be whole. The goal is not to be nice, or I mean, it's not to be good, but to be whole. That statement captures what we've been talking about. You always want to be good, and what you have called good, and you forget that, look, there are other things about you that may not sound good, but you actually need them to be whole. So I think I'm going to wrap up with that.
I think you said it best, and I wouldn't continue on this topic for that. But for those of you that will watch the replay, do hashtag replay, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're still only a few episodes old, and share this with someone you think it could really help out there, because we're trying to spread, you know, we're trying to serve the world. And at the same time, we want people to have their aha moment from our videos. Do let us know if you have any questions, leave it in the comments, or at the same time, if there's something you wish us to talk about or bring a guest expert, let us know, and we'll see you again next Friday with a new episode. Thank you so much, Grace, for being here, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye, everyone.
Ah.